When my grandma passed away, my parents didn't sell the house. We just locked her room and left it untouched. That was 5 years ago. We still live here, me, my mom, and my younger sister, Haley. It's a quiet place outside of town. Wooded, old, peaceful if you're not the paranoid type. For a while, everything was normal. But a few weeks ago, I started hearing footsteps upstairs. My room is on the first floor, and Grandma's room is right above mine. The creaking footsteps were slow, like someone old wearing house slippers, just walking in circles. At first, I thought maybe Haley was exploring. She's 12 and curious. But when I asked her, she said, "I never go in there. It smells weird." Fair enough. We hadn't opened that room since the funeral. Grandma was strict, super religious, always scolding us when we ran or made noise. That room still felt like hers. One night, around 1:30 a.m., I heard it again. The soft creak of someone walking above me. I got up, went upstairs, and the hallway was dark. Cold. Her door was locked, as usual. But I swear to God, I smelled something. Old perfume. That heavy rosewater scent Grandma used to wear. I stood there for a second, heart pounding. Then I walked back to my room, telling myself it was in my head. The next morning, my mom asked if either of us had been in Grandma's room. I said no. She held up a photograph. It was a printed photo from one of those cheap Polaroid cameras. The kind Grandma loved. And it was a blurry image of her old bed. And something sitting on it. It looked like a person in a long nightgown. Head turned away from the camera. Pale hair. Wrinkled hands. I asked, "Where did you get this?" She said it was on the kitchen table when she woke up. No note. No explanation. That night, I set up my phone to record outside the door. Just to see. In the footage, around 2:12 a.m., the door clicks open by itself. Slowly. Just a few inches. Then stops. Nothing comes out. But something is watching. You can feel it. The hallway gets darker, like the shadows pull inward. Then a raspy voice. Barely audible. "Why do you lock me in?" I didn't sleep the rest of that night. The next day, I opened the door during daylight. Grandma's room was exactly as we left it, but the mirror on her dresser had writing in it. Smudged, like from a finger. "Let me rest." My mom broke down crying when I told her. She admitted she never had the heart to remove Grandma's things. That she kept talking to her some nights when she missed her. That maybe she had invited something back in her grief. Since then, we've heard whispering from the vents. Haley says Grandma sings to her at night. A lullaby she used to hum when we were kids. But Grandma's dead. I checked the grave. It was open. Not like a dug-up hole, but the dirt looked shifted. Loose. Like something pushed up from underneath. We moved Grandma's things out. Cleaned the room. Burned the bed sheets and the old perfume bottles. The house has been quiet for 3 days. Until this morning. Haley came downstairs with a fresh Polaroid. She said she found it under her pillow. It shows Grandma standing in the hallway. Only this time, she's facing the camera. And she's smiling. "3 years ago, my little brother Jamie died in a drowning accident. He was 9. We were at my uncle's cabin by the lake, just for the weekend. I was supposed to be watching him while Mom and Dad unpacked groceries. One moment he was playing with a toy boat near the dock. The next, he was gone. They found him hours later, face down in the reeds. The funeral shattered my parents. But it destroyed me. I never forgave myself. We moved back into our house and tried to move on. But even after all this time, it never felt empty enough. Like Jamie never really left. It started subtly. About a year after his death, I began hearing scratching in the walls. Almost like small fingernails dragging across the drywall. At first, we thought it was rats. My dad even brought in pest control. But they never found anything. Then came the giggles. High-pitched. Familiar. Coming from inside the vents. My mom thought she was dreaming when she first heard it. But I heard it too. Clear as day. One night, around 3 a.m., I heard Jamie's voice whisper from the air duct near my bed. "Can you come play?" I nearly vomited from fear. I tried to tell myself it was grief, messing with our heads. Hallucinations. Echoes of memories. But then the toys started moving. One morning, I found Jamie's favorite action figure sitting upright at the kitchen table. It had been boxed away in the attic. Nobody brought it down. Nobody touched that box. It wasn't just once. Every few days, another toy would appear, lining the stairs, facing the door, sometimes stacked in strange shapes. My dad told me to stop joking around, that I was feeding into Mom's trauma. But one night, I heard something that changed everything. I was walking past Jamie's old room. We'd left it mostly untouched, door always shut. I heard music playing, that tinny lullaby from his old Fisher-Price music box. I opened the door slowly. The room was freezing cold. The bed was made perfectly, except for one thing. There was a shape under the blanket, like someone was lying there. I didn't move. I just whispered, "Jamie?" The music box stopped. Then the blanket twitched. It moved. Something underneath it slid toward the edge of the bed. I slammed the door and ran. I didn't tell anyone until the next morning. My mom finally admitted something. She said, "I see him too." She claimed he shows up in the mirror sometimes when she brushes her hair. Staring, smiling, but never speaking. She said he's angry, that he doesn't understand why we left him behind. We tried blessing the house. A local pastor came and walked through every room. Things calmed for a bit, but then a week ago I was home alone. I went to the basement to get laundry. The lights flickered, then went out. I pulled out my phone flashlight and saw small footprints in the dust, leading to the far corner. Then I heard whispering, so close I could feel the breath on my ear. "You're still my brother." I dropped the basket and ran upstairs. Since then, I've been sleeping in my car. Last night, I went back to grab some clothes. On my bed was a Polaroid. It was Jamie. Same clothes he wore the day he died. Wet, dirty, but standing in the hallway. Behind him on the wall, written in what looked like red crayon. "Come back and play, or I'll come get you." We're selling the house, but I don't think he'll stay here. I think he's following me. My father died of a heart attack 4 years ago in his favorite recliner. Middle of the living room, TV still on. He was only 58. It hit us hard. After the funeral, we couldn't bring ourselves to move his things. His chair especially stayed untouched. We didn't sit in it. Nobody did. Not even guests. It was like an unspoken rule. Mom would sometimes stare at it for hours. I'd catch her whispering under her breath, like she was talking to him. After a year, we started trying to move on. But weird things began happening around the house. It started with the chair. We'd find it reclined when no one had touched it, or slightly swiveled to face the window when it always faced the TV. Once, I came downstairs and found the remote in the seat, just how Dad used to leave it. We blamed it on memory. Stress. Maybe we were just imagining things. Then the TV started turning on by itself, always around 11:17 p.m., and it would play static for exactly 2 minutes, then shut off. We checked the wiring, changed remotes, replaced the TV entirely. It kept happening. Mom thought maybe Dad was trying to say something. I thought she was losing it, until one night I heard coughing. From the living room. My dad had this harsh, dry cough from years of smoking. You could recognize it anywhere. I thought maybe someone was in the house. I grabbed a bat and crept down. The chair was facing the window, and the air smelled like his old aftershave. Then the phone rang. We hadn't used the landline in years, but it still worked. I picked it up. No one spoke. Just breathing. Then, in a raspy voice that sounded like it was being dragged from the grave, "You forgot about me." I dropped the phone and ran. When I told Mom, she didn't even look surprised. "I think he never left," she said quietly. "I think he's waiting for something." The next night, I stayed up and watched the chair from the hallway. At 11:17, the TV turned on by itself. Static. The chair creaked. Something invisible sat down. I swear it did. The cushion compressed. The lever clicked. The chair slowly reclined. Then the smell hit me again. Smoke. Aftershave. The faint scent of burnt coffee. I was frozen. The static stopped, and in the reflection of the TV screen I saw it. A face. My father's face, but gray, bloated, wrong. Like he hadn't decomposed, just decayed slowly, watching us. His eyes were hollow. His mouth moved, but I couldn't hear the words. I blinked, and he was gone. The chair snapped upright. After that, I told Mom we needed help. She said no. "I want him here," she said. "He's not hurting anyone." But he was. I started losing sleep, waking with scratches on my arms, finding muddy footprints leading from the front door to the chair. One night, I found my own name carved into the underside of the coffee table. And then one morning, I found a new photo on the mantel. It hadn't been there before. It was old, yellowed, looked like it had been buried. It showed my dad in the living room, but not how I remembered. In the photo, he was sitting in the recliner, smiling. But behind him, in the mirror reflection, I saw myself, only I looked older. And I was crying. That photo should not exist. I never posed for it. We didn't even own a camera like that anymore. I tried burning it. It reappeared on my nightstand the next morning. That was 2 days ago. Tonight, the chair is rocking by itself. The TV is on again. And my dad's slippers, those old brown leather ones, are sitting neatly in front of the recliner. Fresh dirt caked on the soles. There's a note on my bed now, written in his handwriting. It's your turn to sit down.